Welcome to a River City Live road trip celebrating National Dog Week, and it has been way too long since I've had an opportunity to stand right here with Dr. Michael Harris of 6th Street Vet. And, you know, I wouldn't make this trip without my Sophie. She is a patient here. We drive all the way in from the beach, all the way to McClenny, I should say, out. And the last time I was here, let me think, you had knocked out of this building into the next one because you're growing so much.
Yeah, it's been a minute. You know, we just passed the 5-year mark here in McClenny, and it should be way too soon, but we were already just busting at the seams. And you know, I was looking at a very special piece of equipment that we needed to add here at the practice. And so we literally busted through the walls and out next door into the next building. And so I think when you were here with Sophie, you had just barely seen the construction, right? We had like studs up for walls and stuff. So why don't you walk with me and I'll show you the new space because it is done.
Let's see,
Excited?
let's see. And speaking of that special equipment, coming up later on in the show, we are going to meet Stevie Wonder, who is one of the very lucky puppers who has benefited from this life-saving piece of equipment. So come on.
All right. So you know that we had our whole back area here, and you've been back here before because I think y'all came back and saw surgery and everything on River City Live. When we were looking at adding CT, the biggest thing we had to do with CT was have a space big enough to put the piece of equipment. And so we needed not only the space, but a way to get back and forth between the buildings. So we're coming up on our hole in the wall. And of course, we all have to have doors that we can get through when we're busy and walking dogs. And so I got my fancy opening doors. There you go. And so this is our new space. It's the CT and dentistry area. So we've relocated dentistry. We'll talk about CT, but you can see the piece of equipment back in the corner. So that's sort of been our big news here now that we've gotten our new expansion open. And along with that is coming additional hours. So one of the things I'm most proud of is that we now get to have overnight care on average 3 to 5 nights per week, which is awesome because that means there are multiple nurses in the building 24 hours a day when we admit our patients like Sophie. So,
Well, coming up, as I mentioned, we are going to be doing more celebrating National Dog Week. We want to celebrate this machine, the CT machine that has saved so many lives of our furry friends, including little Stevie Wonder, who you may have guessed is not a sighted dog. But that is not the issue for Stevie. He was having a lot of pain.
Yeah. Stevie is a cervical disc herniation patient, and he just has an awesome story. To me, it's a story of everything happening for a reason and being in the right place at the right time.
Okay, and it's another example of how other vets' offices are referring patients to you because you do have the equipment and the know-how to solve other issues. So we're going to do that. Also, before the show ends today, I want to talk to you a little bit about COVID and whether our pets can catch it, whether they can transmit it, all of that coming up in a little bit. So thank you, Dr. Mike.